The views and opinions expressed by individuals on this program are for educational purposes only and should be used as a guide. It is strongly recommended to seek professional advice before making any decisions.
Welcome to the Anonymous Investor Podcast, where real estate meets artificial intelligence. Join our AI hosts as they unravel the complexities of property investment, sharing insights and strategies to help you navigate the market. Chill with us for another episode of in-depth analysis, expert strategies, and real-world tips to unlock your property potential. Whether you're in Sydney, Melbourne, or anywhere in Australia, we've got you covered. This episode of the Anonymous Investor Podcast is brought to you by Suburbs Finder, the ultimate property research tool, helping you find the perfect property in the right location. With data from 15,000 Australian suburbs, including land zoning, bushfire, and flood maps.
Honestly, Suburbs Finder is a fantastic tool. It allows you to quickly identify and assess suburbs.
See the whole host of analytics and data that you can get at your fingertips.
It can help you forecast over 30 years. It has really good information.
Suburbs Finder guides you through every step of your investment journey, from location selection to property analysis. Predict cash flow and capital growth with its 30-year forecasting tool, and make decisions built for long-term success. And now, here are your awesome AI hosts, Sam and Boris.
Hi, I'm Sam, your AI co-host. I'm all about data and trends.
And I'm Boris, your AI co-host. I'm all about strategy and risk.
We're
your Suburbs Finder AI team, combining data and strategy to help you succeed in real estate investing. Have fun listening to our episode today.
Hey everyone, want to make some smart moves in the Australian property market? You bet you do. And you know who's on the right track? You are. How to use demographics data for research in the property market. Let's unpack it together.
That's good.
See, we all know a growing population good for property investors. But this goes deeper, like way deeper. It's about the why, you know?
It's not just about the numbers themselves.
Exactly.
It's about the story behind those numbers.
Yeah.
Think about it. 2 suburbs, both growing, same rate, but one. Attracting young professionals, tech boom, the whole shebang. The other, retirees looking for peace and quiet. Same growth, wildly different investment game plan.
So it's like, yeah, numbers matter, but what's driving them? That's the key.
Spot on. And that's where looking at jobs comes in, big time.
Right. People need jobs. Jobs usually mean they need a place to live.
Exactly. Don't put all your eggs in one basket or rely on one giant company. It's risky.
Like, what if that one big factory in town shuts down?
Exactly. Suddenly, the housing market's a ghost town.
Yeah.
A good mix of industries, that's your buffer.
Yeah.
Means more sustainable growth, you know?
Makes sense. Spreads the risk. So we've got growth, reasons for growth, a diverse job market. What else should we be looking at?
Income growth, got to watch that.
Right, because more money in people's pockets usually means
More valuable properties, higher rents, the whole 9 yards. Comparing income data between suburbs can be a gold mine. Imagine seeing one suburb, higher income residents moving in steadily. That's a good sign.
So we're identifying those areas ready to take off. Now, how do we take all this and figure out what kind of property to invest in? Families aren't looking for the same thing as students, right?
Exactly. Different strokes for different folks. Let's say a suburb popular with young families.
Okay, so in that case, I'm thinking single-family homes, maybe a backyard, extra bedrooms.
You got it. Close to schools, parks, all that good stuff. But now, switch it up. Imagine a suburb, tons of students, recent grads, young couples, no kids yet.
Location, location, location. They want to be near the action, right?
Think about it. Apartments, townhouses, close to universities, jobs, public transit who needs a huge backyard.
They want affordable and convenient, different demographics, different needs, different investments. But how do we get even more specific with our research? Like hyper-local, you know? Because that can make or break a decision.
Absolutely. And this is where a tool a lot of people overlook. The Australian census.
The census, I'll admit, always seemed a bit, I don't know, abstract for me. How do we actually use that in real estate?
Think of it as zooming in on the details of a neighborhood. It can tell you things like population density.
Yeah.
Are you talking jam-packed or spread out? Then you've got housing types, is mostly detached homes, townhouses, apartments. Household size and who's living there, 2 big families, young couples. A real mix, it's all in there.
Okay, so like if I'm looking at a place with lots of families with young kids, that lines up with what we were saying before, right? Those detached homes, backyards, good schools nearby.
Exactly. Or imagine you see a trend, more single-person households in a suburb. Might make you think smaller apartments, good investment there.
Each piece of information from the census adds to the picture, helps you make a smarter choice.
And get this, the government uses this too. Urban planning, development, the whole shebang.
So the info I'm using as an investor, it's shaping the future of these areas.
Precisely. So you can start to anticipate changes, Maybe they'll improve infrastructure, add new amenities, stuff like that. And that can really impact those property values later on.
Wow, okay, it's all connected. But even with all this, we got to remember, things change. People change.
Right, you are. And a couple big trends in Australia right now. Aging population, and families are getting smaller.
We hear about those a lot, but how does that actually affect real estate? What does it mean for investors?
Well, think about it. More Aussies retiring. They're going to want smaller homes, easier to manage. Aging in place, they call it.
So not those big multi-story houses, but maybe single-level, wider doorways, even communities designed for seniors.
You got it. This could also mean more demand for retirement villages, assisted living, that kind of thing.
A whole other side of the market to think about. It's like these trends, they set off a chain reaction.
They really do.
Right.
And then you've got smaller families. That changes what kind of housing people want too.
Right, like not everyone needs that classic 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom house anymore.
Exactly. We're already seeing it. People want smaller places, adaptable spaces,
Like, the idea of a forever home is becoming more of a for-now home. Flexibility is key.
You said it. And that's where those smaller trends, within the bigger trends, those get interesting.
Like what? Give me an example.
Well, even something small, like more rental properties allowing pets.
Yeah.
That can change how they design and market those properties.
Well, that's a good point. If your property's pet-friendly, that could be a big deal for renters.
Exactly. It's about staying ahead of the game, understanding what matters to renters, to buyers today. So with all this in mind, what really stands out to you from what we've talked about?
It's funny. It's that connection between the little things and the big picture. Like, we're not just crunching numbers here. We're talking about how people actually live and how knowing that translates into real opportunities.
It's about seeing the human side, absolutely.
And speaking of connecting the dots, we've talked about these trends one by one, but what if we stack them together? Like, older folks wanting smaller places, families shrinking, maybe needing those big homes less often. Could those two things, overlap, create something interesting?
Now you're thinking. That's what makes this kind of analysis so powerful. You've put your finger on it, a potential sweet spot in the market. Smaller homes, well-designed, perfect for older folks. It's not just square footage, it's accessibility, comfort, all that.
And if you add in the fact that as people age, they often want more connection, community, maybe there's even more demand for co-housing or neighborhoods designed with that in mind.
Right. And that's where this kind of thinking puts you ahead. It's not just reacting to the market, it's knowing where it's going and being ready.
This has been amazing. We've covered so much: population growth, housing types, and that census. Who knew?
It's been a pleasure, really.
But before we go, I want to leave everyone with something to think about. We talked about the trends we're seeing now, but what about the ones just starting? What about remote work? Or the focus on sustainability? Walkable neighborhoods? That sense of community? How will that change Australian property in the years to come?
Such good questions to consider. Just goes to show things are always changing and demographics are just one part of it.
Exactly. So everyone listening, stay curious, keep your eyes peeled. The more you understand about what shapes the world, the better choices you'll make. Until next time, happy investing.
If this is the type of information you like to learn about, why not subscribe to the channel? If you subscribe to Suburbs Finder now, I will not look for you, I will not pursue you. But if you do not, I will look for you, I will find you, and I will give you a big bear hug.